Okay, this is going to be faster than Iggy going on a date on the Friday nights. So welcome in to Calling the Audible.
It's going to be faster than Mo in the bedroom.
Yeah.
Oh, trust me, big boy. Your girl knows about me, my friend.
Okay.
It's your Saturday night. Eagle in the
furious.
nest, Iggy in the perch, and I'm in the...
The perch.
Yeah, I'm in the branch, I guess. Anyway, very quick show today. Not much to talk about, really, to be honest with you. We have Seth Galina on with us.
The problem we have is that there's still a lot of games that are pending until the end of the Cup season, so the brackets and the playoff matchups can't be set. There's really only like 2 divisions that we can kind of sort of resolve.
Well, no. 2 that are ready.
They're ready, yeah, but it's like 3 games, and I think they don't even
Co-ed
play
one and
until...
women's.
Yeah.
No. Co-ed 1 and women's, everyone's played.
Oh, no, I mean, like, when is their upcoming game? Is it before our next episode?
No, I believe the schedule's not out yet. So
No, the
What are you
schedule is
talking
the
about?
games
What are
are
you
out, but the
talking about?
literal
Yes.
time slots are not made yet because
yeah,
they're
that's
doing
what
that
I'm saying. The
tomorrow.
slots are not
Today?
Yeah,
Yesterday? I don't know, whatever.
Tomorrow.
it's very confusing right now.
Friday.
Well, we have games on Saturday though, no?
Yes.
So nothing's gonna be.
No, but like the ones that can be determined will be slotted in.
So by Sunday morning, everyone will know their schedule for
Mm,
playoffs for
yeah,
knockout.
Sunday afternoon.
When's the first day of knockout rounds?
Monday?
Yeah, Monday.
November 13th.
Sunday.
Okay, so the teams who are playing Saturday will not be playing Sunday then.
It's possible.
Okay, so this is a heads up for those who are playing Saturday. You could be playing Sunday.
Yes. Email was sent out to all captains
Okay,
of advising
perfect.
them of that wrinkle.
Perfect. So it begins Sunday. The quest to win the Fall Cup. After 8 games, we don't know who's gonna win. You lose, you might still be alive. You lose with red, you're out.
That's the Fall Cup.
That's the Fall Cup for you. And we'll go till December 10th and 11th.
Yeah.
Can't wait. Also, this so quickly here, don't forget winter registration is now officially open, correct? Yes?
It is, yes.
So sign up for that. Ratings request, please double check. If you have a player or two that you think is a little high, submit it to the ratings request. It's on the website and resources, and look for it and submit that. And they'll look at it, weigh it, let you know yay or nay. And if it's yay, if it's nay, you'll find out one way or another for your roster as you get ready for your winter season, which, by the way, is in 2 months.
Yeah.
Exactly 2 months.
Yeah, they're in the works of being processed. So if yours hasn't been processed yet, it's cooking.
Yeah,
It's brewing.
exactly 2 months from today is the first weekend of games that we'll have. So can't wait. Can't wait for that. It's only 2 months away. All right. And lastly, if you saw in the Instagram stories today, there is the midget finals, Quebec midget finals, which we encourage for those to come watch out. If you don't want to watch, if you don't go in person, you can watch yours truly, Mo Khan, on the call on YouTube this Sunday. I believe it's North Shore against someone else. I'll find out who it is.
Okay.
I have so many games to call
One
this
team.
weekend.
You had
I feel
one
like you've
job.
prepped for this.
I have not prepped for this yet. I have to prep for it. It's hard.
Feels like it. Yeah.
Hard, but anyway, of course, Quebec Midget Football, very partnership with us. We've worked with them in the scorekeeping department. But if you want to be there in person, support local football. It's very important to come out to support these young kids all throughout the weekend. Starts Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But if you want to hear Mo Khan, Sunday, 4 p.m. kickoff.
They hear enough of you.
I know you do.
Enough.
All right, what do you want to start off with? You want to go dive into it?
Well, just one more thing.
Yes.
The FPF toques are available Mondays in Saint Laurent, Wednesdays in Laval.
Oh, there's
Weren't
like
you
lineups.
just wearing one?
There's like lineups of that outside Saint Laurent every Monday and Wednesday.
Yeah, but it's the white one, and I don't know how
I mean, the
dirty-
last one was transparent.
Yes. It
Oh,
was,
speaking
it was
of that,
gray.
Friday night I was driving home on my Maisonneuve corner of whatever street I was at,
Oxford.
and I see a car.
Wow, way to dox him.
Yeah. I see a car on the T intersection. I go, man, okay, I'll wait for this guy to go through. I go, wait a minute. It looks
No,
good.
I'm gonna let this person go
Yeah.
through. They got there first.
But then I lock in on the guy's toque. I go, I seen that toque from somewhere. I go, oh my God, it's Iggy's toque. And I roll down the window, give him
then-
this wave.
And then what I see is the cars just going. I'm like, what is this person doing? Go! I let you go. And I see, and it's Mocon.
And I drive off into the night. Drive off my colleague down the road.
Oh,
from work.
it was at the stroke of midnight as well.
Yes, it was.
It
It
was-
was drive off my
it was
colleague
funny.
who lives like 3 blocks down from Iggy. So that's what it is. Anyway, that was our highlight of the week, and let's dive into the show.
Did you manage to go to the gym this week?
I did go to the gym, and of course, there is a gym that is definitely a proud sponsor for this league of ours.
Hey FPF players, looking to take your fitness to the next level? BuzzFit Gyms has a special offer just for you. Join us today with no initiation costs. Get ready to score big in the gym and on the field. Visit us at BuzzFit Gyms and seize this exclusive deal now.
All right. Thank
feel
you,
like it's like
robotic
that-
voice.
It's like that 900 number. Hey, hello there. How's it going? If you want to press
Grid behind you, or is it just me?
A grid?
a grid.
I think it's
no.
just me.
I think it's just you.
Yeah.
Ego.
Yeah.
I think you're lacking sugar candies in your system.
Did I
Oh,
have
we can
sugar
put the
today?
clock on, by the way.
Yeah. I did not. No,
Okay,
you're right.
So, yeah, you're
I
probably.
didn't even have a coffee. I just one of those days. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
it's one of those days, indeed. Okay, let's dive into it.
Yeah.
Tier 2. We'll start off with that right now.
Let's do it.
I always like to ruin the schedule order of numbers here. Stoics. I know they got one more game to play, which is in Laval on Wednesday night.
Yep.
In your mind, body of work, have they underachieved this FPF Cup, given the roster acquisition that they brought in some pretty cool names on that team this season?
I wouldn't say so. Are you asking that because they're literally like 500, 3-3-1, or
I'm
like
just disappointed by
where's this-
them.
Like with a +7, like you're disappointed? I
I'm
mean,
disappointed by them. Yes.
the popular names you're seeing on their roster are late additions. Those were not anticipated prior to the season. So I'd say, given the in and out of players coming in and out of the lineup, I'd say it's slightly, I don't want to say overachieving, but just slightly above expectations
they underachieved. My Bucks.
for you.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
and
underachieved.
let's go.
You know, you got the coolest name at FPF, Tony Vo, who is a very underrated player in this league.
Yep.
Then you look at Jordan Tower should get 4 tonight if he plays.
If he plays, yeah,
If he
we'll
plays
find
tonight.
out.
Carl Ashley is a guy that we talked about that Chris Serev is very protective of. He's
He's
going to
good.
lose him
Yeah.
to high division.
Yep.
He's got Gisli Lexi playing for him.
Yep.
You know, these aren't Iggy Mokan here playing
No.
for Mr. Chris Rive, a.k.a. Serev. I just think that this team should be putting up more points than what they did. They scored 40 points once, which was against Le Basset.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, some of the games, they lost infantry by 1. Shouldn't be losing to those guys at all.
What?
No, shouldn't be losing to infantry. Not in my books.
They're like in the top 3
Doesn't matter. Shouldn't be losing to infantry. C-Rev has
in
to
a
be...
1-point game.
C-Rev needs to do better quarterback.
Look at the games. 25-25 tie to a Rouge. Okay,
Yeah,
that one you
should
could
have won that game.
Agreed, but
Convert on one of your extra points, maybe. Hello,
Yeah.
Chris. Come on.
Well, and like against
well, he
infantry,
did
got
only
converting extra points, man.
I agreed, but they're not getting blown out. Where's the they're losing to a good team. And by the way, there's no bad teams in these divisions, and the lower end ones they beat significantly, 37-18 to Voodoo. And yeah, okay, you're losing to Diamond Bougie, you're losing to the infantry, you're losing to EZW. They're literally like 1, 2, and 4 in the standings right now. So no, not a disappointment at all.
I am disappointed by them. I really am. You bring all this firepower, you know, and these guys, unfortunately,
But it's the first time throwing with these players, so he's just building the chemistry out.
I don't want excuses. False kings. Stoics, false kings. We have not used it at all this season. False kings, Stoics, all that power acquisition you did, C-Rev has failed you miserably in this league.
But they're not atop of the standings.
I don't care. They should be higher, though. That's my point, though. Why are they in the borderline? They should be a double elimination status, but they're not.
They might be with a win over. That's what she said tonight, Wednesday night.
We'll
They
see.
could be.
We'll see in Laval how that plays out.
Yep.
But they should be better than what they are.
Okay.
Should be much better than what they are. Okay. What's the matchup you're looking forward to in tier 2? If you can pick up a matchup like a dream scenario that, hey, this first matchup is gonna be fun to watch in the open rounds, is who?
Are you just asking straight up any two teams against each other, or given the standings the way they look right now, which in the top half it's 1 versus 8, 2, 7, 3, 5, 3, 6, and 4, 5?
I would say, you
Given-
know what?
Given the way they are,
Given the way they are right now. And you can project, right? So if you want to project a team that might move up or down, like, why not? Let's go for it.
I mean, based on current standings,
I mean-
Dirty Birds Infantry is going to be
Yeah.
very interesting.
yeah, that one. Even EZW fins up and Diamond Bougie Ambush. Like those are great. Those are interesting because can Ambush in back-to-back weeks beat Kiss My In-Laws and then knock off Diamond Bougie and push them down to the single elimination bracket. That would be an interesting one.
I'm intrigued by Le Basset against Voodoo, because Voodoo has that streak in them where when they're off, they're really off. But when they're on, they're tough, right? They can make things really funky for them. I'm watching out for them. I think Arush, this is a team, again, we talked about last Fall Cup.
Mm-hmm.
They went very deep.
Yeah.
Like, they played like 18 more games
Yeah.
after, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
it was crazy about that. I can't wait for them. I'm intrigued to see what fins up, who they get paired up with.
Yeah.
Um,
Right now, Easy W. You
Easy
like
W.
that? You like that?
That's a good matchup. That's a fun match. It's a very salacious match.
But is it a good one for Fins Up?
Yeah, I know. I think it is because Easy W, the way fins up are built up, and I called out Sterling Power.
You did.
And I think they match up well with Easy W.
Mm-hmm.
But also, you mentioned Dirty Birds and who they might get. Infantry could be their dance partner in the first round. But I want to see Quay Johnson be a serial touchdown maker, and he has the firepower to do so.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, but he's had his bad games where he threw 3 INTs one game, then he'll throw like 4 or 5 in a game. So which Quay Johnson will show up in the playoffs or the knockout rounds? And, you know, he's got some good pass catchers to work with.
So does that make that team vulnerable? Or is there another team that's vulnerable?
No, I think
for
Dirty
you?
Birds' defense is very good. Nas Dillon, who, you know, he's unassuming as a pass rusher, but he gets the job done.
No, he's great. Yeah.
Very good. I think they're going to be fun to watch. So I think Dirty Birds, who I'm circling, Le Pot à Bassett as well, and Arush. Those are the teams I want to see who they get paired up with. I think they can make a deep run in the Tier 2 knockout stages.
Agreed.
So last but not least, the most vulnerable team is who going into the knockout rounds?
I find like Beer Belly, Brigade are a little vulnerable going in. And I don't know why. If you asked me at the beginning of the season, I wouldn't have said this team, but now I feel like they are, and it's game changers. That's a team that, I don't know, for whatever reason, I can't quite put my finger on it, but I don't feel confident. Like, if you had to give me to pick them to win, I wouldn't feel confident doing that, even though I thought they were actually probably a top 5, top 6 team in this division.
Yeah, they've kind of slanted in the wrong direction.
Slant backwards.
Yeah, they lost to I think Dirty Birds. I think it was last week in Laval.
It was, yeah.
And
which is going to be a game of the week coming up soon.
Right. And I just think that for whatever reason they haven't really found their groove in this tier this season. It's the same squad. It's not like they lost anyone or had any more additions, but I don't think they.
Well, they added JD Chevalier.
Yes,
if anything.
Chevalier, that's right.
But like that's a big plus, right?
It should be a big plus.
Yeah.
But you know, a 3-4-1, yeah, they have underachieved, and but maybe this could be a moment where they need to have that one elimination status where they play better than expected, right? And so maybe they do pull off an upset or two along the way. But yeah, I think game changers definitely have underachieved in this tier this season. All right, on to tier 4.
Cool.
For now, we could see 11 of the 21 teams 500 or better. Are you surprised by this?
So half the teams are going to be at 500 or better.
Yeah, which is pretty remarkable.
Is it? Isn't that statistically exactly what you would want?
But usually you don't have that. Usually you have like 8.
The bell curve?
Yeah, you usually have 8. You know, if it's 20-team league, you have 8. That's about 500 or better. But remember, it's one conference, right? So you could, in theory, have you could, I beg your pardon, have 7 to 8 teams have 5 wins or better when it's all said and done. Even 9. So there could be 9 teams that can end up with 5 wins or better.
Yeah. So am I surprised? You're in tier 3, Eagle. We're on tier 4.
I clicked the
That's
wrong
why.
one. That's a hover. That's a
There
hover.
you go.
That's why.
Not my fault. That's a hover.
Fly, Eagle, fly. In tier 4, would I be... if you told me that at the beginning of the season, not knowing tier 4, the majority of it, yeah, I'd be surprised. Now, after, 10 weeks? No, not really, because there are actually like 8 really good teams in this division. And then there's the middle teams, and then you have some teams that are not really competing here. So, no. If you ask me at the beginning, yes. If you ask me right now, no.
I'm because this will lead to the next question that we're going to discuss right now. I'm impressed though. I really am, because this is sort of the tier 4 is sort of that transitional division, right? Where you have teams who are playing lower end spring or winter seasons now playing in that melange of teams that are kind of making that step up now. They're at that fork in the road of either going higher or staying at the same length.
Mm-hmm,
But you know, you look at a team such as Win Diesel, right? They've always been mercurial, but here they are 4-3. They could be 5-3 when it's all said and done. Megaron, Cookie Monsters. Pack a Punch is going to be 4-3-1.
Yeah.
Super Troopers. These are good, solid teams. Paso Rabiat taking that next step. Ramfins, we know about them. They're 7-1. Coolest logo, which you don't like, which I do like.
It's okay. It's
okay. See, I'm saying you don't like
not
it.
like
You
it.
don't
It's
like it.
okay. You think it's the best one
it's the
ever.
best logo. It's an ingenious logo. It's a dolphin with the ram horns, man. That's what.
Okay. It's a grandma with a bicycle. Okay.
Yeah, but it's a flying dolphin with ram horns, man. You think it suffers CTE at all?
Who?
A ram with horns, a dolphin with horns.
If it would suffer CTE?
Yeah,
Sure.
I'm just asking.
Dolphin brain is almost the same size as human brain.
Because they had that question about rams on Dan Le Batard's show. Does it suffer CTE because they always hit each other in the head, right?
Oh,
so,
okay. Yeah.
So I'm curious if a ram fin would do the same thing. Pease would have the answer to that question. Can you ask Pease for that answer next week, Eagle? Thank you.
Please ask.
But I do like Toon Squad a lot, and even though 2 ties, actually, by the way, Gunnar Ross did play.
He did. I told you. I told you.
Some Aloha fan he is. I would have been at the game tailgating, by the way. But yeah, I think this could be a projection that in the winter season, whoever comes back for winter season with these teams, that they all have, I'm not saying all of them, but if a good number of these teams will have a breakout campaign where they are the favorites to win that division or make a leap up. So yeah, I am very impressed, but I'm also not surprised that there is more than half of the division at 500 or better this season.
That's good competition at the top.
It is.
And I like those middle teams that you listed, right? Pack a Punch, Cookie Monsters, Megaron, and Wind Diesel, the 4 that you mentioned there. I like what I've seen out of all of those teams.
So, is this the toughest tier to predict for knockout projection?
I think so. For knockout, sure, and even just who's gonna win. I think it's the toughest. I'm not. I don't know who's gonna win this division. I can't even pick if. Maybe I could guess one finalist out of the 2. But to nail both right or pick a winner, I don't know.
I can't pick a.
It's really tough.
Leader.
Really, really tough, especially because we've seen chinks in everyone's armor in at least one game where they just look so off, right? And it's actually Pasta and their one loss. They looked like 2 or 3 turnovers against Save the Turtles. Game was over by halftime.
Yeah,
but Pasta gave Only Flags their only loss in a game where Only Flags didn't look anything like what they've looked all season. But then Only Flags beat Save the Turtles. So all these teams are just beating each other up, but I don't know who's the clear-cut favorite.
There is no clear-cut favorite because you said it in that way of snakes and ladders that there's one team that can beat one and then lose the next week. Like Paso Rabiat, they're 7-1, rightfully so, but you wonder, can they win with the quarterback play?
They can. And I was thinking about this, and I was going to ask you, who's the one team that Pasta should be afraid of and that can give them fits?
The best logo in the league, Ramfins.
You know who I think it is?
Save Turtles.
Pasta Arabiat. It's themselves. They are going to be the ones that get in their own way of winning
Prisoner of their own mind.
I saw it on Monday night, and when they get distracted and outside of football and it becomes a bit of a bickering war instead of a football war out there, they lose their tempers and their heads, and they almost dropped a 3-score game when they were up over Meat Lovers, and a quick score and a onside kick success 2 seconds later, they saw their 3-possession lead evaporate, and they were on the hinges of losing that game. So
okay, so this leads to the next question. Then.
Yeah.
Are they a candidate to be an early 2-loss upset, 2 losses in a row and they were done, 2 and done?
I don't think so. I think they've over the course of the seasons, and hopefully they saw it on Monday night, that if they're not fully concentrated, they can let games slip away.
Mm-hmm.
I think that and their accumulation of experience over the past few years, I'd say no, they're not the quick 2 and out.
I think there's someone on the green side that will be a 2 and out.
Yeah, I don't know who it is.
It's someone in there.
Could be Super Troopers, right? The only team without a loss. It could be that. I just don't,
any
I don't
team.
know who it would be.
So what I'm referring to, any team of 5 wins or more. I think there's someone in that category that will be 2 and out at that point.
Interesting.
Okay, on to women's. I was thinking about it because women's division is growing exponentially. We're getting more and more fantastic athletes on in that division, in that community, and I think we'll see more teams. I think we're expecting, 2 divisions, if not 3?
Two.
Two, right?
Two for now.
2 for now, the Premier League and Women's 2. We should call that the WPL, the Women's Premier League.
Interesting.
I like that. Nice little name to it. Okay, I was thinking about it, though. Currently, in this edition of the Women's Division of Fall Cup,
Well, it is 2 divisions.
I'm talking about the Fall Cup, though.
Oh,
right
wait.
now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And
That's okay.
Like, I'm
my
thinking of players right now
sites.
who are playing in women's. There are some who are playing women's 1 in winter. As your eyes kind of go
the
bulging.
site's doing something so weird to me. It's saying Fall Cup 2023, but it's showing me 2 women's divisions.
Perfect.
It's probably because I've clicked around in winter 2024.
You
too many
probably
times.
have.
Yeah.
Okay. Who in your mind? I have one that
Okay.
can make the jump up to women's 1. I think Gigi Kabila Bonte can play
Yeah.
women's 1.
Easy.
But is there anyone else that in your mind that you can say, you know what? Yeah, she can definitely play.
Like
women's.
low key, right?
Yeah, low key. Like I think Kabila Bonte can play.
Yeah.
I don't know if she would. I don't know if anyone knows who she is, and I think that's the thing. And it's not a knock on the women's division when it comes to that. I just think that a lot of these teams are set through the CEGEP University ranks. They grew up with each other, and they play at nationals and all that stuff, and tournaments across Quebec and in the U.S. and whatnot. Yeah. So they have the team set. But if you have to make that addition, I think Kabila Bonte could definitely hang with these teams. Oh.
I don't think Siri agrees with you there, Mo.
Siri doesn't agree with me. I'll put my thing on. So, yeah, I just think that she can play in that division as well.
I also think you're asking outside of Brutes and Vortex players outside
essentially.
of them.
Essentially.
I've spoken about her a lot in my articles. Maryse Paquette of Wolfpack. She's a dominant player out there. She's ready for Women's 1. This player has already played Women's 1, I believe. Josiane Martin is another one of those players that can take that step up if she hasn't already. 2 and a third one. No, I'll go with those 2 for now.
Yeah, I look at you mentioned Josiane Martin from Wildcats, which is a great pick, by the way. But also Sabrina Neveu, she's a very good player as well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she had a really good season this year. I've seen her play a couple times with Wildcats and what she has done. She's very good. Also, when you look at, say, Alexandra Ladouceur, she's also very solid, too, for Wildcats.
Yep.
But the thing is, like, it's hard, like, and I had funny enough, I spoke to Rochelle Valliere about this, like, back in the summertime.
Okay.
And I said, you should be playing women's 1.
Right,
And she goes, it's tough because no one knows anyone, right? So maybe there's got to be more exposure, and we give that and see, hey, like, there is excellent talent. There's diamonds inside this treasure trove over here that you can find for your team. So I just think that there's a few that definitely can play in women's 1 in 2024 and beyond.
I will give you a third name, Magali Ruel of Red Bulls. I've seen her not only with Red Bulls, she played last year with Vincent Chung's teams in co-ed. She's a player that can definitely play women's 1 caliber.
Which game are you looking forward to in women's knockout rounds? I want to see Red Nation take on. It was Wildcats last week. They had the Tete.
Yes.
I want to see a rematch with them because Red Nation's peaking at the right time. They're on a hot streak right now. And, I'm not saying they're going to beat Vortex or Brutes, but if they get Wildcats at some point, that'd be fun to watch.
Well, why are you wondering? We know the matchups. The matchups are set. They are playing Vortex.
Oh, right. Yes.
Yes. So because they have eight games played, and the only 2 teams with 7 games can't jump up.
That's
so
right.
There's literally the seedings are set. Brutes will be playing Wolfpack. Vortex will be playing Red Nation. And Wildcats have a bye, and X and X before their own playoff game against Red Bulls have a regular season game against them. We talked about that last week about showing the cards. I like Red Nation against Vortex. I don't think Red Nation is going to end up winning the first time around, but I think they are smart enough and will collect enough information to make it a competitive game against Vortex and then use that information, and if ever they meet up down the line, that they'll make it a game of converts, potentially.
So there could be a situation for Red Nation. Depending on the schedule for women's, I don't know when the dates are. But if the Alouettes make it to the Grey Cup and we'll know by Saturday if
Right.
we beat Toronto. And I haven't beaten the Argonauts, by the way.
Right.
So if the first window of women's games is next week,
Right.
Al Sobel could not be available because she would be in Hamilton with the team.
That's an official could or would or
I'm
will
saying could.
be.
Could, yeah.
If they make
Yeah,
it.
I'm not saying can. If the Owls qualify,
Then she will.
she could be in Hamilton with the team
Or-
as of Monday.
Are you giving two maybes in there? Like, if they go, then there's still a chance that she goes.
Yeah, because everyone's going down to Hamilton.
But is it if the Alouettes win, then she goes?
Yeah, it's basically the Alouettes winning on Saturday.
Oh, okay, so it's like almost confirmed that if the Owls win, then she will go.
I think so.
Not if and then another if.
Well, it depends. They can say, hey, no, come on Thursday or Friday,
Okay,
right? But like, it's Grey Cup week. Everyone's going down from personnel for that. So there is that scenario that Red Nation could be missing.
And
Alison
then
Sobel.
without her, they don't have a chance.
No.
They
No.
don't have a Rockets chance of winning that game because they need her rocket arm.
Yeah, so I don't know what the layout of the scheduled dates are for
Interesting.
next week, but that's something to keep an eye out for because if the Owls do win on Saturday, everyone's rolling down to Toronto, or to Hamilton, I beg your pardon.
Interesting.
But the funny part is, the story is, because Grey Cup's in Hamilton this year,
Okay.
and I believe when Winnipeg, so Hamilton, not to go CFL history on you guys, but Winnipeg won against the Ticats in Hamilton a couple years ago. So the story is that the Bombers, rather than celebrating Hamilton, they went to Toronto to celebrate their Grey Cup championship. So I wonder if the Alouettes, if they qualify for the Grey Cup and they win it, if they're going to go to Toronto to celebrate the Grey Cup. There's nothing to do in Hamilton, man. Nothing to do in Hamilton.
Why wouldn't they come back to Montreal?
Well, after the Grey Cup. Grey Cup's on Sunday. You're going to celebrate party the night of.
Why would you go to Toronto if you can go to Montreal?
Well,
Because
flights.
Hamilton to Toronto is about an hour versus Hamilton to Montreal is 6 hours, 7
Well,
hours.
No, they fly in, but there's no flights out direct, right? They go the next day. So
You get budget for flights in the CFL? Come on.
they have charter
They're
flights now.
greyhounding that shit.
No, they now have, you know what? They have charter
really?
flights now.
Really?
They realized, and this is courtesy of someone who used to work for the Alouettes, who initiated the charter flight plan, that you save on another night of hotels and per diems if you fly out right after the game. And they realized, so a lot of these players that I know, like, man, we missed out on the parties after games, man. Win or lose, we always went out partying the night, the game after, man. So they missed out on the stories on that. So they no longer do the classic 2 days and then we leave the morning after. They leave right after the game. So anyway, point being is that they could
Financials aside.
yeah. Point being is that they could not
Right,
have
that-
Al Sobel because if they win, she might be down in Hamilton for Grey Cup week. So we'll see what happens. We'll be joined by Seth Galina in a couple seconds here.
We will be?
Yes, I think
for it?
Yes.
we had time for.
Sure.
Yes. I told him 7:30. It's 7:31.
This is perfect.
I'm saying we have 4 divisions left.
Well, no, we have 3.
We have 3.
Well, if you count co-ed as 2.
Co-ed is
Three.
gonna be is with
It's-
Seth Galina. That'll be is as is. Then we have 2 after that.
Yes.
Tier 1
We're
and
good.
Tier 3. We're good, man.
All right.
Eagle, we're on a roll here, baby. We are going, man.
Yeah.
you say that, but
Eagle,
Yeah.
we're gonna be out of here by like 7:50. This won't be the epic.
We've done 3 divisions in 30 minutes. We have 3 left
Yeah, we'll do it.
in 30 minutes.
just
And-
wanted to be sure.
And by the way, it's not gonna be the classic Simon Dagenet PZ playoff preview when they went till midnight.
Smile.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
I texted Simon or texted Simon. I go,
How did it go?
How you going? You guys are done? No, we're in Division 5A. I'm like, Simon, it's 11:45. And he's like, don't talk to me. They were there for 4.5 hours previewing playoffs.
Crazy.
I can't believe they did that. Absolutely wild.
It's love for the game.
Yeah, I felt bad. I was like, maybe I'll come back. You know, I had the Habs that night. Waiting for to be joined by Seth Galina, who is ignoring us.
Oh boy.
Okay, so Seth Galina's not here with us yet.
I will continue to call him as you guys can start the
Yes.
segment.
Okay, so you call Seth Galina. We'll
No.
we'll go into co-ed then. So I had no questions to line up specifically for co-ed, more for Seth Galina. For later.
Well, co-ed, just like the women's is another game.
No, wait, here we
Oh.
go. We have a man in the room.
There he is. He went from sideline passes to sitting in the 50th row, overlooking Kentucky. Seth Galina on Sunday nights.
I'm now at the Hilton Hotel in downtown Cincinnati, so not overlooking like an alleyway over there.
How do you go from like rubbing shoulders with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase to rubbing shoulders with some fans in the 80th row in the third deck of 400 level?
Look, NBC Sports, I do appreciate that they got me on the field. I do appreciate that I got to see my friends Mike Tirico, Chris Collinsworth.
Oh, name dropping.
However,
excuse me.
However, last row of Paycor Stadium was where our seats were.
I know.
So looking like ants down there. Luckily, the home team won, but it could have been a little closer.
Could have been. You could have been. You know what? Because for those who know, Seth Galina works for PFF, Pro Football Focus, which is run by Chris Collinsworth and NBC. You're media, so why weren't you in media row?
So it's a whole thing. It's like actually a whole thing because specifically the Bengals, I think in this case,
they're cheap.
Don't believe. Yeah, my team. They don't believe that we need to be in media row because or in the press box because we don't do like live game recaps or beat journalism.
Man, they're so archaic.
Exactly.
So archaic.
So we have to go. So we went through NBC Sports because we work with them. I personally work with the whole team at NBC Sports. I got to go in the truck, like the thing that they wheel. It's 4 trucks that they wheel out to each venue, and that's really, really cool. It's the amount of cameras and stuff that they have access to, and talking to the graphics people, how they put the graphics together. The guys who do the graphics kind of live too. If there's something happens, obviously there's people who do, who prep stuff during the week, which is what we help them with. But really, really cool. And being on the field was pretty cool. Right next to Joe Burrow.
If Chris Collinsworth had to talk about you and he started with, now here's a guy, what would he say?
Here's a guy who doesn't really do any work when I ask him to.
Mike, I'll tell you what, this guy, man. You see how you ran that slant? Seth Galina would have ran it in 5 steps instead of 4.5. And I'll tell you what, he makes the catch in that play for that first down. I'll tell you what a player he is,
He would destroy me. And honestly, if there's any replays of me playing flag, and there's a few out there, it's bad. So we selectively put what we want on Instagram to make sure that I look good, but the whole picture is not as rosy.
Yeah, government TV right there with Seth Galina's Instagram page. So Seth, let's dive into it. I had this question I want to ask you since you work for PFF. In your mind, you know this league fairly well. Which FPF player would grade well in the PFF world?
Iggy, for sure. Iggy's like a 95.6.
Get out of here. No. Stop stroking his ego. Let's go. Let's get the real answer here. Who would grade well in the PFF world from the FPF world?
I mean, look, it's whoever's grading high in the PFF world. You guys are using the same grading system that we use at PFF, right? So it's the same thing. Whoever's grading high is going to grade high. Look, I think for the quarterback stuff, it's a lot of depth adjusted accuracy. So if you're throwing deep balls a lot and you're completing them, then you probably would grade pretty highly. Defensively, target based, and honestly, receiver wise, target based as well. So, I'm like a 75 offense, 75 defense, and that's probably where I'd be. Who would grade well? I mean, there's a lot of good players in FPF.
Don't be shy now.
They would all grade well.
Don't be shy now.
No, I mean all the people who make plays in FPF would grade well. I can't think of any off the top of my head except the best quarterback in FPF.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah, that Sky Chili got to your head there.
I had some Skyline chili earlier, so maybe it is maybe it is clouding the memory
absolutely
there.
Gross.
Seth, I maybe not a lot of people know you. Maybe not a lot of people know your team, Plenty of Fish and Co-ed. I wanted to play a little game with you if you're down. You're known to be a great football mind. So I want to use that mind and put it to the test with a quick word association game. So I'm gonna list your player names on your roster, and I want you to give me one word to describe them. All right. We're good? Understood?
Yeah.
All right. Annabelle Chevrier.
Hands.
Daniel Marceau.
Teammate.
Say it again. It bleeped up.
Teammate. Like a good teammate.
Yeah. Dylan Taylor.
One of the worst players that has ever lived. I'm sorry, that's more than one word.
Jamie Ojea.
Unselfish.
Julian McLaren Thompson.
Cigarettes.
I thought you were going to go with fast. I was going to go fast.
Cigarettes.
Maud Lacasse.
Competitor.
Rebecca Descaries Corbeil.
Humor.
Rocco Cristiano.
Agility.
And Seth Galina.
Fucking loser, man.
That's code for him saying he's not good.
What's my best? I don't know. If I were to attribute something to myself, it would just be consistent.
Okay, there we go.
When you look at your division for Co-Ed 1, it was a pretty close middle of the pack here. But do you feel like there's a true favorite to win this? Do you think Kiss My Zone is the best in this division, or do you think you guys can make a run with your core group that you guys just listed right now?
Yeah, I think we have a chance. I think it's going to take some bounces that fall our way that maybe haven't fallen our way in the last 2 seasons that we put this team together. So hopefully we can stay in games and then find a way to win at the end. I think that's probably our best chance. I think Kiss My End Zone, I mean, they did finish in first, so I have to give them credit. I think it's definitely a matchup-based league. I think we certainly do well against the quarterbacks who are going to run around more because we have Julian, who's probably the best defensive player in the league, best rusher in the league for sure. But obviously, like our matchup versus Iggy, we're going to play them next week, is a little different because Iggy gets the ball out quick. So like to me, it's such a matchup-based division. With that said, like when I think about like if we were going to play a finals against one of these teams, I probably would say Kiss My Hand Zone would be the favorite.
And then quick last one here. Do you think any of the teams that fall in the red category here, Fit Squad, Vultures, or Deep Balls, do you give any of those teams a fighting chance to make it all the way to the finals? It's a long road for Vultures and Deep Balls. They'll play the most games if they win. If they win out, do any of them have a chance?
Yeah, I think Deep Balls. It's been more difficult. I think we understand that. 2 wins. I think one of them is by forfeit. So. Hasn't been a great season for them. I think when they're all there, they can do a little bit more than we think. With Vultures, it's a team that I don't really understand. We played them. It was a great game, finished 40-40. A lot of players were out. It was a Thanksgiving weekend, so like I think both teams were missing a bunch of players. But when I look at the roster, I look at a team that should not be 2-5-1, and I'm sure they have plenty of reasons of why. Of why that's happened, I don't know for sure. They scored a lot of points against us, but we also scored a lot of points against them. The roster's for me too good to have that record. Fit Squad, kind of the same thing. We played them twice this year. We've been in both times, but we know what they can do, right? I mean, this is a team that went through, I think, their first year with Will in the Cup last year, won a bunch of games. Last winter, won a bunch of games. And then I think almost like the middle of last season in the spring, it just everything kind of flipped. Yeah. And it's kind of weird, right? Like this is a team that should be scoring a ton of points, and they're finishing with 190 points, which is just not good enough for them. But we played them twice, and there were tough games both times. I know the score might seem like we took care of it, but like there were tough games both times, and that would be those two. Fit Squad and Vultures are too good. Their roster is too good for them to be in the red. And so I can see them both making moves in the playoffs.
Seth, last question for you. We're currently planning out our FPF Cup Roadshow finals, the whole production thing. If, let's say, I were to give you a little segment that you would run on the day of finals for every game, you have a 30-second pitch to us. What segment would you like us to run, or would you like to run?
Yeah, I mean, it would just be we could do some X's and O stuff if we could. I don't know. I don't know if we have any we have any all 22 from this season, but I can.
Yeah,
always,
we actually do with my camera phone, Ashley. So sideline for you, Ashley.
Yeah, it's gonna be you putting the iPhone in front of my face, and then we're gonna film me watching on the iPhone. That's content
Seth,
right there.
Here, we're going to tease it in the fall, winter season, by the way. We're going to have the Concast in April 2024 for the Roadshow Finals.
We will?
Yeah, we are.
It's been decided.
On whose budget?
Don't worry, the budget to be determined.
Rob.
But we'll let for you be our first guest in the Concast with PZ and I in the Concast studios for Roadshow.
What is the Concast?
Stay tuned. Stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for that. Seth, thank you so much, my friend. Safe travels back from the Queen City of Cincinnati, the Natty. And tell Mike Brown and the boys at the Bengals office we say hello and give you press passes next time.
Yeah, I'll definitely talk to Mike Brown. Oh, can I tell you a quick Mike Brown story, actually?
Go for it.
So this is before I worked at PFF. I went down because the defensive coordinator who I was working under at the time knew the defensive coordinator at the Bengals. This is like 2018, I believe.
Oh!
So we got invited down. Me and a few of the guys who I was coaching with went down. We went down to Cincinnati. They treated us very well. We went to OTAs. We had access to all the media rooms. We talked to the coaches. I got to hang out with Jim Haslett, which was a treat for me as a New Orleans Saints fan. And so we're in the cafeteria, and me and former I don't think he lives in Montreal anymore, but so former FPF player Jermaine Lewis were standing next to each other, and at the salad bar, and Mike Brown walks in and starts taking some salad, and he looks at Jermaine's plate, and Jermaine has a bunch of spinach on his plate. And he's like, "Oh my God, what is that?" And Jermaine's like, "It's spinach." And and Mike Brown looks over and goes, "Wow, you really know a lot about leafy greens." And then he walked away, and that's my Mike Brown story.
Mike Brown, a real savant.
Living under a rock, I think, Mike Brown.
Yeah, a real savant Mike Brown is. Thank you. All right, Seth, safe travels back from the Natty. We'll see you for the Concast. First guest, look forward to having you on the guest with PC and I for the Concast. April 2024.
Cool. Thanks, Seth.
Thanks, Seth.
Iggy, we'll see each other next week.
Yep.
Very excited.
Big battle,
Yeah, I can see the excitement on your face, Seth. All right. Thanks so much, Seth. Seth Galina.
See you guys.
All right. Okay, so there you go. Concast. We got our first guest for the Concast, man. All right. Okay, you're making moves over here. But
What's the Concast?
Well, stay tuned.
Yes, I know.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned with the Concast. Okay, let's dive into Tier 3. We don't have much time left here for the show. Tier 3. I looked at, Team Sexy. I know they've really surprised many, but did they overachieve? I don't think many thought they would be at the point of 5 wins after 70 games of their campaign.
Yeah, Team Sexy. I would have said in an 8-game season, perhaps a 4-4, depending on their schedule, maybe a 3-5 season, which again are not bad seasons in FPF. But if we quickly take a look at their season so far, so they tied Bandits, who have been up and down. This is a big win, 44-24 over New Diablos. That's a very good one, although New Diablos were very inconsistent with their roster at the beginning of the season. Beating Rude Boys, a lot of teams are beating Rude Boys lately.
They smoked them.
But yeah, smoking them, yeah, against a good defensive team is impressive. 30-12 against Lightwork, this is impressive, stuff so far, halfway through their season. Then taking an L to West Island Boys, one of the teams that's undefeated. Okay, had a battle against Born in the 80s. If I remember, they came all the way back down 20-0, maybe 26-0. So put some scare into David Andrade. Beating Rico Riders 36-18. And then really taking it to in and out, putting up 47 on them. So, yeah, this is a really, really, really good season out of Team Sexy.
Yeah, I think they had a good season, but and it leads into the next question here. I mean, to be where they're at 5-2-1, and now you're 4 seed, more likely than unless the Rays win their last game, that might drop them by 1. To be a top 5 team, let's say they'll be a top 5 team going into the knockouts.
Yeah.
I think that's tremendous strides for them.
Yeah.
And if they can get a win or two in the knockout stages and last as long as they can, I think that really sets up well for them for the winter year for whatever division they do enroll in. So, yeah, I think they did well for themselves. And that leads into that next question. Are they if it holds true where they finish in 4th, are they the 4th best team? Like, is there a gap with them and say, I don't know, Utah Pimps, Illegal Use of Hands, and West Island Boys? Is there a massive gap, or is there a close gap with those 3 and them?
No, there's a pretty big gap between that. I'd even say Killer Rays are closer to that gap than what Team Sexy is. Even Trap Stars are close the gap more than what TS would here. So they're getting better. Very good season so far, but there's still a ways to go.
So are we surprised though that I know we spoke about the 3 teams being undefeated, but are we surprised that they are pretty much going to go undefeated?
Who's this?
West Island Boys, Illegal Use of Hands, and Idaho Utah Pimps. I know the Pimps and Hands are playing their last games, last game coming up.
Yeah.
But if they all go undefeated, like, are we surprised that none of these teams, except for West Island Boys, by the way, who suffered a tie, by the way.
Yeah.
So they are still undefeated. But I'm saying that we had not 1, not 2, but 3 that won unscathed in the loss column.
If you just say it like that, at the beginning of the season, will 3 teams go undefeated? Probably not. But then you look at who those teams are, and yeah, I'm not surprised. Well, West Island Boys, Idaho Utah Pimps, those are 2 of the finalists from Division D. I think it was D2, but regardless, D. And then Illegal Use of Hands with a bunch of Division 4, Division 5 players from Barazoni to who else is on the roster actually this year? They don't have Ralph Morelli, but anyways, a bunch of guys that are very known to the league and have a lot of experience, even playing the middle of the division. So no, I'm not surprised at all.
Lastly, in this division here. Are there any teams on the red side, which means single elimination status, that are better than teams with the double elimination status?
Lightwork, Rico Riders,
and the Wrangler Darren Medizian is going to be rushing for them now.
Instead of they lost their rusher, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Good rusher. I like. Depending on the night, I like what I see from Griff Nation. Blue Dry. There's what, 4 teams I've listed there?
So in that discussion then, who do you think on the double elimination side is worse than these teams that you made the point that are better?
Maybe not worse than all of them, but worse than at least 1 or 2. I think Penetrators. Again, not worse than all of the teams, but 1 or 2.
Mm-hmm.
Mangoose. I'd even go as far as saying no, those 2.
Okay. On to tier 1.
All right.
When we spoke last week, or they were more or less comfortable in number 2, and then they dropped and dropped and dropped. Blessed now are number 3. They lost 2 in a row. They were undefeated up until the last 2 games. Are you concerned that they're starting to wobble at the knees and now go from 1st to 3rd in the span of like 9 days?
No, because they lost to the top 2 teams right now.
So Bless was never a top 2 team in your eyes then?
I mean, hard to say. Probably not. But to be the number 3 team in basically all of FPF is an accomplishment. And you lost to the 1 seed and the 2 seeds, closing out the season. So is that wobbling at the knees? No. They're still going to get as best of a matchup as possible. Just whether it's Maroons 2.0, KGP, or 450 Ballers, depending on how fall they fall. I don't know if Maroons are able to catch up with them
Right now they're locked in with 450 for the opening round. Blessed
right now.
right now. They could change though, right?
Yeah, not a great. Yeah, if Maroons lose, then they're all 5-3, and then Maroons probably have the least points against. Yeah, you're looking at a matchup against 450 Ballers, a team no one really wants to face in the first round.
No.
So look, they're going to be kicking themselves because they let up a bye week go, and a bye week is just an automatic week to move on to the next round, right? So
Right.
they're definitely not, as strong as they could have been going into the playoffs, but they'll take it nonetheless.
Jesse Dupree, Jeff Rosenblatt, are they the two candidates for quarterback of the year? I mean, their stats are, not identical, but they're close enough.
So how much do you give credit to Phil Cutler basically achieving the exact same results with one less game?
Very highly.
So you got to prorate that, right?
No. It's not prorating. So between Phil Cutler and Jesse Dupree, there's too much of a gap in that there was 4 more touchdowns thrown. So that one, it's clear that was too high. But if you compare Cutler to Rosenblatt, 37-31. The yardage is, that's the thing though, right? The yardage.
So
isn't even close.
if you give him additional completions, he gets there easily, right?
Right, but I don't want to prorate. I'm not prorating. I'm saying, especially with the touchdowns, it's so close that only then do I look at the games played. And to say, well, look, he did almost the exact same in terms of touchdowns, but did it in one less game. That to me actually probably puts Phil Cutler as the number 2 QB right now for quarterback of the year. Personally, that's how I look at it.
So Rosenblatt would be number 1?
No, I would put Jesse Dupree as quarterback of the year.
It's a tough.
Are there any rushing stats to back this up? Because Dupree had a rushing touchdown as well.
96 yards for an additional TD.
That additional TD is huge. Even the 100 rushing yards are big.
Yeah.
Cutler had
Both.
3 for 20.
Yeah, exactly. There's like 20 yards for Cutler, none for Rosenblatt from what I see.
Yeah, he's a real demon running
He's
the
a
ball
pocket
there.
passer. He's a
Yeah.
Tom Brady type.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
it's definitely gonna be a close call.
it's close though. Yeah,
But I think Jesse Dupree has the edge. If Jeff had thrown at least 2 more touchdown passes, I think.
yes.
Look, his completion numbers are fantastic.
It's- yeah.
74%.
Yeah.
Almost over 1,800 yards passing. He had the most completions amongst the quarterbacks in that
Mhm.
list. Had the most passing attempts as well. So I think that has to weigh a little bit here. That the more passing attempts and the more completions, that helps
Yep.
the numbers here. So I think Jesse should be the candidate that wins it, but I think Jeff might pull away when the votes are all said and done.
I think so, right? Because take a game. They both had 8 games.
Yeah.
What kind of game would you rather have from your quarterback? A 3 touchdown, 0 interception game,
Mhm.
or a 0 touchdown, 0 interception game? Like it's not
Right.
even debatable, right? It's the
Right.
3 touchdown. You put up 3 scores when someone else put nothing. So and that goes in favor of Jesse Dupree.
Fair enough then. We'll skip the last question because I have to get going. It is now time for
No games of the week, but if we were to do them, this segment would be sponsored by BuzzFeed.
Hey FPF players, looking to take your fitness to the next level?
No.
BuzzFit Gyms has a special offer just for you. Join us today with no initiation costs. Get ready to score big in the gym and on the field. Visit us at BuzzFit Gyms and seize this exclusive deal now.
But yeah, let's wrap for today. We'll do predictions when the schedule comes out on like IG Live or something, or some other way, or I don't know. We'll figure something out.
Playoffs,
And
baby.
next week's show, who knows? Maybe we'll do it where I'm in Toronto, and you guys are here in the container.
Could be. Yeah.
All right, magic words, please.
Good night. Who did we say we were gonna say?
Jack Campbell.
Jack Campbell. That was it.
Oh, the Edmonton Oilers.
Yes.
Woodcroft might be out by the time we speak next week. Good night.
put the place up. Yeah, we know what